Yeah. Hey man, I woke up this morning and I finally knew who I was. Yeah. This is to the 12 tribes of Israel, baby.
We're with Israel United in Christ, based here in Tallahassee, Florida. So most of you may have seen us in front of the cafeteria before, in the purple and gold on Saturdays, which is known as the Sabbath day. A lot of people may hear we teach certain things. What we do, we come out of this Bible and teach thus saith the Lord. Alright? So today you're about to realize a lot of things that you may have never known that was actually in this Bible. Before we begin, who can tell me what nation we as a people come from? By show of hands. This is going to be class participation, so this goes into the extra credit. So who can tell me what nation we come from? Who got it? Let's see some hands. Let's see some hands. You sis, you was brave. You raised your hand. What nation do we come from?
Oh, now let's say Israel because it's on the screen.
Okay. You don't see the screen.
Africa.
Africa. Now, is Africa a nation? What is it? It's a continent, right? But we were told that we come from where? Who told you that? School. School told you that, right? All right. Now let me ask you this. Whenever you hear about a Bible, you think of the religion Christianity, right? Who taught us Christianity? All right. So I think people are starting to get the picture. We're going to teach this Bible as it is written. It's non-biased. Teaching the truth. All right, go ahead and give me first slide. All right, go ahead and read that for me. Genesis 15 and 13. So if you have your Bibles, go ahead and read along. We're not putting anything in the Bible. All right?
Genesis chapter 15 and verse 13. And he said unto Abram, know of a surety that thy seed shall be a stranger in a land that is not there.
Abraham. Who knows who Abraham is? Anybody ever heard of him in the Bible before? You got Abraham. Who was Abraham's son? Isaac. And who was Isaac's son? Jacob. Read that again for me, officer.
And he said unto Abram, know of a surety that thy seed shall be a stranger in a land that is not there.
It says that his seed should be a stranger in a land that is not theirs. All right? We're going to wait till the end to go deeper into that. Read on.
And shall serve them.
And shall do what?
And shall serve them.
And shall serve them. Read.
And they shall afflict them 400 years.
And they shall afflict them 400 years. Does anybody know what prophecy this is talking about?
Slaves.
For who? Slavery for who? You. Yeah, you said it.
I said for us.
Okay. Now you said for us. I like that answer. So let's go back into biblical times, right? You said for us. Could you put a name to that? Because us is a general statement. What nation do you mean by us?
Israelites.
Israelites. She's correct. Believe it or not, that prophecy is talking about us. We went into slavery by the hands of the Egyptians during the time of Pharaoh, right? And we were freed by who? Who freed us out of slavery? What was his name? Moses. That's one of our forefathers. But you'll understand what we're talking about as we go on. Read on. Go next slide. All right, Exodus 1 and 8. Read that.
Exodus chapter 1 and verse 8. And there arose up a new king over Egypt, which knew not Joseph.
Which knew not who?
Which knew not Joseph.
So, before the children of Israel, all right, before they came into Egypt, Joseph, he had favor in Egypt, right? He was second in command under Pharaoh, all right? So, there arose a new king. Read it again from the top.
Now there rose up a new king over Egypt, which knew not Joseph.
Because Joseph, he was not an Egyptian. He was a Hebrew Israelite by nationality. Read.
And he said unto his people, behold, the children of Israel are more and mightier than we.
All right, so the children of Israel, after Joseph had his father and his other brothers and sisters come in, they multiplied, which means we multiplied and grew while we were in Egypt. Read.
Come on, let us deal wisely with them.
Let us do what?
Let us deal wisely with them.
So the Egyptians, which are actually African people, right? Y'all have to understand, whenever you see a dark-skinned face, that does not mean they're African. As we're reading, the Israelites were in Egypt, and the Africans knew the difference between an Israelite and an Egyptian. Meaning what? We're not the same people. Read it again from the top.
Come on, let us deal wisely with them, lest they multiply.
Lest they multiply.
And it come to pass that when there falleth out any war, they join also unto our enemies and fight against us.
And fight against us. So the Africans were scared of us. Because the Israelites, they knew we were God's chosen people. So they were scared of us. Read.
Verse 14. And they made their lives bitter.
They did what?
And they made their lives bitter.
Read.
With hard bondage.
With what?
With hard bondage.
That's called slavery. So the Egyptians had the Israelites in slavery. Read.
In mortar and brick, and in all manner of service in the field. All their service wherein they made them serve was with rigor.
Made them serve was with rigor. Next slide. Read that.
Exodus chapter 20 and verse 2. I am the Lord thy God, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt.
Stop. So, who do you think this is? Moses, right? But on TV, what color is it?
White.
Exactly. Do you see how much power an image or movies or pictures or coloring books have on your mind? Because for the most part, if I just put this picture up there, y'all wouldn't have no idea who that was. According to the scriptures, Moses looked just like that. Now the question is, can any of you prove that Moses was a black man?
It says Egypt.
Who's that? What was that?
It says Egypt.
It says Egypt? That's how you can prove Moses was a black man?
Yeah, to my opinion.
In your opinion, expound please.
Well, Egypt is in Africa, which is the motherland for all Americans.
Let's help this brother out. What's our nationality? Okay, let's go with hands again. I'm sorry. So, what is our nationality? The people here in America, the so-called African Americans, what is our true nationality?
American.
You say American. What else? I heard African American. Some. What was that?
Jewish.
You say Jewish. You say
Caribbean.
Caribbean. All right, watch this. I got two scriptures for you to help you out. Give me Exodus 4. You know what I want? 4 to 6.
Exodus chapter 4 and verse 6.
So this is Moses. This is how we know what color Moses was according to the Bible. Okay? Watch this.
And the Lord said furthermore unto him, put now thine hand into thy bosom.
Alright, so the Most High said unto Moses, put your hand into your bosom, into his coat jacket. Alright? Read.
And he put his hand into his bosom. And when he took it out, behold, his hand was leprous as snow.
So when Moses took out his hand from his bosom, his coat jacket, the Most High did a miracle in the eyes of the Egyptians. His hand now was white as snow. Watch this.
And he said, put thy hand into thy bosom again.
So after it was leprous as snow, he put his hand into his bosom again. Read.
And plucked it out of his bosom. And behold, it was turned again as his other flesh.
As his what?
As his other flesh.
So let me ask you this. If Moses was a so-called white man, think about it. A white man puts his hand into his coat jacket, pulls it out, it comes out white. Puts his hand into his coat jacket, it comes back out, it's the same thing. Is that a miracle? No, it's not. But if the Israelite man, that's a dark pigment, puts his hand into his coat jacket and pulls it out again, that is a miracle. Alright, watch this. Exodus 11 and 7. So you have to understand. Remember what we said earlier. Just because you see someone of dark pigmentation does not mean he's an African. You have to understand that. And this is the scripture to prove it. Watch this.
Exodus chapter 11 and verse 7. But against any of the children of Israel,
Of who?
of the children of Israel,
Read.
shall not a dog move his tongue.
Shall not a dog move his tongue. Read.
Against man or beast.
Read.
That ye may know how that the Lord doth put a difference.
That the Lord does what?
Doth put a difference.
Between who?
Between the Egyptians.
Between the Africans.
And Israel.
And the Israelites. Israelites and Africans, not the same people. We look alike, right? Put it like this. There's Africans on this campus right now. And they can tell you they're from where? They're from Kenya. They're from Libya, from Morocco. But if I ask this sister, she'll tell me her family, oh, they're from South Carolina, right? Oh, they're from Texas. Oh, we from Florida. I'm an American. I'm an African American. Give me Isaiah 1 and 3. And then we'll move on. This is the so-called African American in America today. You don't know your nationality. You're repeating what you were taught. You cannot prove that you're an African American. Nobody can, because we don't come from Africa. That's what you have to understand. We're going to show you that in this Bible. Read that.
Isaiah chapter 1 and verse 3. The ox knoweth his own.
The ox is a docile animal. The ox's livestock is cattle, right? Read.
And the ass his master's crib.
An ass is a donkey. So it's saying the ox knoweth his owner, where his food supply comes from, where his shelter comes from. Then it says the ass, his master's crib. Read.
But Israel.
But who?
But Israel.
But the so-called, but the actual Israelites, which are the so-called African Americans today, read.
But Israel does not know.
They what?
Does not know.
So it's showing you that a docile ox and ass, they know their power source, they know their homeland. But who does not know?
But Israel does not know.
Read.
My people does not consider.
The Israelites do not consider that they're the chosen people of God. That's why you're here today. A lot of you are here just for extra credit. Y'all don't even realize what you're listening to right now. Because so many times you've been called niggas, porch monkeys, coons, that you're lower than the white man, that they're always going to be above you. But according to the Bible, you're God's chosen people. Alright, let's go to the next slide. Read that.
Deuteronomy chapter 1 and verse 1. These be the words which Moses spake unto all Israel.
So as we read, the book of Deuteronomy is written by Moses, and he spoke to all Israel. Read.
On this side Jordan, in the wilderness, in the plain over the Red Sea.
Next slide. Alright, so we now know that the book of Deuteronomy was written to who? The Israelites, right? That's what we just read. Now, let's go to Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 1.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 1. And it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe which I command thee this day, that the Lord thy God will set thee on high above all the nations of the earth.
Who can tell me what that means? You, brother. You look like you're a sharp man. What does that mean? What does verse 1 mean? Let's read it again. Pay attention this time. Watch this.
And it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe and to do all his commandments which I command thee this day, that the Lord thy God will set thee on high above all nations of the earth.
What does that mean? Not sure? Sure. What you got, sis?
If you follow his commandments and live by his word, you will be set high above all nations.
Exactly. That's simple. That's all it means. Do what God says, he'll bless you, right? And when did God do that? During the reign of King David. You've heard of King David. David slew who? Who did David slew?
Goliath.
Goliath, exactly. Who is King David's son? King Solomon. Right? This is when the Most High God blessed us upon all nations upon the face of the earth. Now, there is a flip side to everything. He said, keep my commandments, I'll bless you. Now, let's read verse 15.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe, to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
Now, I'm coming right back to you. So, what does this one mean? What does verse 15 mean? Read, skim over it real quick. Let it get in you. You want to read it again? Read it again.
Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe, to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
You're wrong.
So basically, if you don't follow his commandments, you will be cursed.
That's simple, right? It's not hard, right? As it is written. No. I understand, brother. I understand. Let's go to the next slide. All right. Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 16.
Deuteronomy
hold on. A lot of people wonder why the blacks in America went through what they went through, right? Y'all wonder why, how come the white people didn't have to go through slavery like we did? How come they didn't have to face the Jim Crow laws, segregation, getting sprayed with water hose, being hung? How come we the only people had to go through that, right? Nobody ever asked that question? Okay, watch this. We're going to read why. Read that.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 16. Cursed shalt thou be in the city, and cursed shalt thou be in the field.
Read.
Cursed shall be thy basket and thy store.
So whatever we set our hearts out to do, we would be cursed. Now, let's see who's falling. Why would we be cursed? We just read it. Let me see some hands. You, right there. That's simple, right? You keep God's commandments, He'll bless you. You broke God's commandments, He'll curse you. Now the question is, was everybody in this, or was only the Israelites affected by this? The Israelites, right? You don't see the Chinese up here. You don't see the African. You don't see the Caucasian. You only see the Israelites going through these curses. Now, give me Deuteronomy 7 and 6 real quick, officer. Because y'all have to understand something. This Bible, right? This is the true source. What men say doesn't mean anything. We got to go by what the Bible says. Now, it's going to show you exactly why you're not going to see any other nation going through these curses. This is why. Watch this.
Deuteronomy chapter 7 and verse 6. For thou art an holy people.
Deuteronomy was written to the Israelites. So he says the Israelites are a chosen people. Read.
Unto the Lord thy God. The Lord thy God hath chosen thee.
Read.
To be a special people unto himself.
Read.
Above all people.
Read that again.
Above all people.
One more time.
Above all people that are upon the face of the earth.
By show of hands, who has ever heard that scripture before? Who's ever heard that? You've heard it. Now, have you? Okay, so let me ask you this. Did you know who the Israelites were until today? You did. You sure did. So who are the Israelites, sis? God's chosen people. Okay, what nation of people are the Israelites? What's that? They don't know. Who? Okay. Do you know?
Nationality?
Yeah, the Israelites today. Because you can't just read in the Bible and they just disappeared. You're still on the earth today. Right? Okay, so you said you heard it, but you didn't know who the Israelites were. Is that? Was that? How many of you heard it in the past? Okay, gotcha. You heard it in the past, but you didn't know who they were. Alright, let's go to the next slide. Oh yeah, you go to it.
No, you good.
Okay. Got a quick video for you.
Someone you've seen often on ABC News, John Quinones. There is a new movie in theaters about a champion of migrant workers 50 years ago. Though tonight, 3 million migrant workers are still here in the United States and hoping for change. And John Quinones now looks at their lives through memories of his own.
These are the faces of some of the hardest working people I know. The people who labor 18 hours a day under the blistering sun, bugs and insecticides, harvesting the food we eat, all because they want their children to have a better life. Like the parents of the child in this photo. That is me.
When I was barely a teenager, my family and I journeyed all the way from Texas to Michigan and Ohio to harvest cherries and tomatoes. It was back-breaking work for very little money.
I remember that people worked even when they were sick, no days off. People like this man.
You get 70 cents for filling that sack.
Back when I was young, I thought things would change because I had a hero, Cesar Chavez, an activist who co-founded the United Farm Workers Association. He fought for simple changes, rest periods, clean water, health benefits. And a new movie, Cesar Chavez, chronicles the hunger strikes and boycotts that he led.
I'm angry that I live in a world where a man who picks your food can't feed his family.
That was 50 years ago. But tonight, in most of the country, farm workers are still not allowed to join a union. Most have no pension, no health care. Elvira Francois has been working in the citrus fields of Florida for 15 years, supporting her 3 kids on $200 a week.
And you have a problem here?
I'm allergic with the spray. And they feel.
Elvita and others like her looking for a new hero. Many of these farm workers don't even know who Cesar Chavez was.
Do you know who Cesar Chavez is? ¿Sabes quién es?
No, lo he oído escuchar, pero no.
America's farm workers counting on us to give children a chance, like I had. The migrant kid who dreamed of someday becoming a TV reporter. The kid who was so inspired by Cesar Chavez. John Quinones, ABC News, Fellsmere, Florida.
All right, so that clip was just showing you that the curses are still upon us today. All right, the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans are the biblical Israelites according to the Bible. Now, this clip just shows the hard bondage that our people still go through on a daily basis. Let's go to the next slide. All right, read that.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 20. The Lord shall send upon thee cursing, vexation, and rebuke, and in all that thou settest thy hand unto for to do, until thou be destroyed, and until thou perish quickly, because of the wickedness of thy doing, whereby thou hast forsaken me.
All right. So, a lot of people still don't believe that we're the Israelites. So the question is, how can our oppressors get away with gunning our men down in the streets today? Because it happens to our men every day. Don't you get on the news, you read about somebody else getting killed in a jail cell, getting gunned down in the streets. Happens every day to our people, right? But we wonder why. Like, how come we march, we protest, and we vote, but nothing changes? Does anybody ever contemplate those things, or you just live life only caring about yourself and not your people? These are the type of questions that we have to ask our people, because we have grown to only care about self. We don't care about our whole nation while we see them getting oppressed. We only care about financial gain. We only care about moving up and forgetting about our brothers and sisters that's still in the hoods, still being oppressed every day. I want you to read that scripture one more time, also.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 20. The Lord shall send upon thee cursing, vexation, and rebuke, and in all that thou settest thy hand unto.
The key was that all that thou settest thine hand unto, you will be cursed. Now the question is, why? Why would that happen? Exactly. It's that simple. We disobeyed God. We disobeyed God. Let's go to the next slide. It's redundant. It's very simple. This is just history and facts that our people don't know. Because when we read the Bible, we don't connect. We don't see ourselves in the Bible. For example, I already talked to you. Brother right there with the maroon jacket. What color is Jesus Christ? Not you, the one behind you with glasses. Yeah. What color is Jesus Christ?
Black.
Can you prove it?
I'm sure it knows.
Nah, you can't. Okay. But who? What about you, sis? What you got?
I thought because it said his hair was like wool. Yeah.
Exactly. So, for example, if you know that, let's go to it, Revelation 1:14. If you know that Christ's hair is like wool, feet like brass, what is that telling you?
He's black.
He's black, right?
Revelation chapter 1 and verse 14. His head and his hair were white like wool, as white as snow, and his eyes were as a flame of fire, and his feet like unto fine brass.
Feet like unto what?
Like unto fine brass.
What color is brass? Brown, exactly. Not only was his feet like unto fine brass, which is brown, read.
As if they burned in a furnace.
Like Officer C right here ended up looking burnt like me, darker, right? Because we got different complexions. Now, when we read the Bible, what image does mainstream Christianity put up? Do they put up that image? They put up a white image. Why? Why is that? No, how come we just sit there and why is there not a public outroar? Why is that?
Because in the Bible it says that we are his chosen people, so white people feel like we have an advantage over them.
Exactly, sis. Exactly. That's why we're here. Wake up. It's time to wake up. You cannot keep living the way you are living. Why? Because we were chosen. We're not like the Caucasians. We're not like the Chinese, the Japanese, the Africans. We're the children of God. Christ looks like you and me. Hair like wool, skin dark. He's from the tribe of Judah, according to the Bible. All right? Let's go to the next slide.
Yeah, you went over there. Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 22. The Lord shall smite thee with a consumption, and with a fever, and with an inflammation, and with an extreme burning, and with the sword, and with black, and with mildew, and they shall pursue thee until thou perish.
Until thou perish. So, has anybody ever heard of the Tuskegee experiment?
Yes.
Yes. First person who said yes. Can you share with the class what went on during the Tuskegee experiment? I heard a few yeses. Anybody want to share? Go ahead, sis.
The Tuskegee Airmen, they were like the few blacks, like in.
Oh no, you got two. Not the Tuskegee Airmen.
Well, but they were injected too.
Okay,
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So
sis.
they were injected with syphilis, like for experimentation.
Gotcha. So y'all heard that? The Tuskegee experiment, they injected what into our people?
Syphilis.
They tested us like guinea pigs, right? That's what happened. It's not even that long ago, 60 years ago. This happens in our time. This type of stuff is still going on today. That's what y'all have to understand. All right? It's just behind closed doors. All right? Read on. I'm sorry, go to the next slide. All right, so this is double-fold. According to the Bible, the so-called Hispanics and Native Americans also went through the same curses as the so-called African Americans today. All right? When you got smallpox, that's Gad and Reuben right there. I'm pretty sure you heard about 1492, Columbus sailed the ocean blue, right? Y'all heard that in history. But do they tell you what Columbus did to the Native Americans? Nah, they don't go past that. They just say, oh, they had a good Thanksgiving dinner. They sat at a table, da-da-da-da-da. No, they killed 90% of the indigenous people in North America, South and Central. Those are our brothers and sisters as well. Little did you know, we were in slavery with the Native Americans. That's the history they don't want y'all to know about. Watch this. Give me Jeremiah 17:4. Because they want us to disconnect. So when I see my brother in the streets, I have hatred towards my brother. So when I see him wearing Jordans, I want to kill him and steal it from him. Because when we see the white man, we see what? We see Christ. We see God. But when we see our own brother, we see niggas, spits. That's what we see. They've done that by taking our book and putting their imagery on it and teaching us their doctrine. That's what y'all have to understand. Read that.
Jeremiah chapter 17 and verse 4. And thou, even thyself, shalt discontinue from thine heritage that I gave.
Discontinue from our heritage. What consists of a heritage? What are some components of a heritage? What you got, sis?
Food.
Food.
Clothing.
Clothing.
Music, which was to your culture.
Music, exactly. You said food, clothing, music. That's perfect, sis. Because according to the Bible, we have a certain dress code that we are supposed to govern ourselves by. All right? And just about everybody in this room is breaking it right now. All right? Would y'all believe me if I said that? That the Israelites have a certain dress code? Watch this. I ain't going to go deep into it because this is for history. But what if I told you that God said women can't wear pants? An Israelite woman, Chinese woman can wear whatever she wants. Caucasian can wear whatever she wants. African can wear whatever she wants. But God says the Israelite woman cannot wear it. What you got, sis? According to what scripture?
I don't have scripture, but I've read it before, and it said women can't dress like men, but men didn't wear pants either.
Men did wear pants. Do you mind if I prove it to you with the scripture? Exodus 28:42. See, we're not the Christian church. We're not the Christian church. Everything we speak is going to come out this Bible. That's the difference. Today is a new day. All of those lies that you've been taught, you don't got to listen to lies anymore. The Israelites are back on the earth. Read that.
Exodus chapter 28 and verse 42. And thou shalt make them linen breeches.
Linen what?
Linen breeches.
Read.
To cover their naked.
Who in here knows what breeches are? Anybody ever heard in old school? Child, pull up your breeches? Anybody heard? Exactly. Where do you get it from? Read it again from the top.
And thou shalt make them linen breeches.
Linen breeches, read.
To cover their naked.
And who's going to wear these linen breeches? Read.
From the loins even unto the thighs shall they reach.
Read.
And they shall be upon Aaron and upon his son.
His daughters?
His son.
His wife?
His son.
Men. The Israelite man wore pants. Thus saith the Lord. Deuteronomy 22 and 5. Make it real simple. Watch this. Watch
Deuteronomy chapter 22 and verse 5. The woman shall not wear that which pertaineth unto a man.
What pertains to a man? Pants, breeches. Exactly, we just read it. All right, let's go to the next slide. All right, read that out.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 25. The Lord shall cause thee to be smitten before thine enemies.
The Lord shall cause the Israelites to be killed before our enemies. Right? Read.
To be smitten before thine enemies. And thou shalt go out one way against them, and flee 7 ways before them, and shall be removed into all the kingdoms of the earth.
All the kingdoms of the earth. This is dating back to I'm sorry, not Babylon, but this is during the siege of ancient Babylon, and we also have when the Romans sacked Jerusalem, 70 AD. All right? You'll read that in Luke, the 21st chapter. When the Romans sacked Jerusalem, which is our homeland, they surrounded the whole city. All right? They killed us. They took us as slaves back to Europe, and most of us, we fled to the west parts of Africa. All right? So if you ever wonder how we got to Africa, you know, actually, let's read it. Let's read Luke 21. And we're going to come right back and give it to you also. Because I don't want you to get used to just talking. I want you to hear the scriptures. Watch this.
Luke chapter 21 and verse 20. And when ye shall see Jerusalem compassed with armies, then know that the desolation thereof is not.
That the desolation, the destruction is coming. It's time up. You're not going to live by yourself anymore. Because you broke my laws, I'm going to send you into slavery. All right, read that.
Then let them which are in Judea flee to the mountains.
Flee into the mountains. Hold on. The mountains are referring to, you look like you've been paying attention. So read that again. I want you to see if you can get this right, sis. Watch this.
Then let them which are in Judea flee to the mountains.
So it says, those who are in Judea flee into the mountains. What mountains do you think that's talking about?
I'm not sure.
You're not sure? What about you, sis?
Africa.
Exactly. How do you know that?
Research.
Show the sister where that's at. Matthew 2 and 13. Watch this. According to the Bible, you're not going to have to go to other verses because it's there. But when you read the history, you find out that it matches up directly with the Bible. Because that's a history book right there. Watch this.
Matthew chapter 2 and verse 13. And when they were departed, behold, the angel of the Lord appeared to Joseph in a dream, saying, Arise and take the young child and his mother and flee into Egypt.
Flee where?
And flee into Egypt.
Christ spoke those words in Luke. So when he had to flee because the wicked King Herod was trying to take his life, the angel appeared unto Joseph and Mary and told them to flee unto the mountains. Now you have to understand, in a geographical sense, Egypt and Israel are right next to each other. Think about a map. So you have the United States of America, you got Europe, you got Africa. At the top, you got Egypt. Right here is Israel. So you don't have to take a boat to get from Israel to Egypt. That's why our people fled into Egypt to hide from the Romans. All right? Now, let's go to the next slide. All right, Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 28.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 28. The Lord shall smite thee with madness and blindness and astonishment of heart.
Now, y'all might laugh, but everybody in their respective hoods got somebody walking around the neighborhood look like that. All right? Everybody got somebody bugged out of their mind on some type of drug. Because these are the curses that the Most High God put upon us. I guarantee you, you go behind the stadium, you're going to see this person. It might not be the actual person, but you're going to see somebody walking around talking to themselves. Somebody that don't got a home. Right? Read that one more time for me, officer.
The Lord shall smite thee with madness and blindness and astonishment of heart.
Blindness. You not being able to see that that's my sister. So I need to treat her a certain way. I shouldn't be calling her a bitch. Right? Why would you call your own sister a derogatory phrase? What the hell is wrong with our people, right? Why would we think that's okay? Why would we make songs like twerk that, clap that? Why would we do such things if we know that's the daughter of God? Why would we do that? Because the Most High placed curses on our people. Right? So now we don't see each other as a people as we're supposed to. All right? We see each other on a low level. Read that one more time and then you just slide.
The Lord shall smite thee with madness and blindness and astonishment of heart. heart.
And astonishment of heart. That's it. Yeah. All right. Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 30.
All right. So I want y'all to keep in mind, when we're going through these slides, make sure everything that we're reading applies only to the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. It's very important that this is what identifies us with who we are today. These curses show you who you are, and we're going to show you. All right, read that.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 verse 30. Thou shalt betroth a wife, and another man shall lie with her.
When you go back into slavery, all right, when you go into slavery, if an individual had a wife that was attractive, all right, master had free reign to take who he wanted. That's why we have a lot of light-skinned sisters today. How did that happen? It didn't matter whether you were married, engaged. He was able to do that. Go to the next slide. I want to show the video. In this video clip, it shows you exactly what happened. A lot of times, they put the truth right in front of us. But we're, like the officer said, we're at such a low level, we're not able to identify that what we're seeing is Bible scripture. Now, what we just read 30 again, and then I want to show this clip.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 30. Thou shalt betroth a wife.
A man would have a wife, read.
And another man shall lie with her.
Press play. Read the scripture again.
It is.
Yep. All right, now listen to the scripture. What they just showed, that was a movie, but that's historical fact. That happened. All right.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 30. Thou shalt betroth a wife.
A man will betroth a wife, being engaged, read.
And another man shall lie with her.
And another man shall lie with her. That is biblical fact and historical fact that happened. Now the question is, who else went through a captivity or a slavery where that happened? Right, the so-called Native American. Guess what? Those are our brothers as well. Those are brothers as well. But outside of the 12 tribes, nobody else went through that. The so-called Jews, they didn't go through that. All right, continue reading.
Thou shalt build an house, and thou shalt not dwell therein. Thou shalt plant a vineyard.
All right, so it said, thou shalt build a house and not dwell therein. When you go into slavery, around Tallahassee, when you see a lot of these big slave mansions, you'll see this house, and then you see the outhouse. All right, that is another curse that only applies to us, that is backed up with historical facts. All right, read. Thou shalt plant a vineyard.
And thou shalt not dwell therein. Thou shalt plant a vineyard, and shalt not gather the grapes thereof.
What do we cry about every so often whenever a black politician comes in? What do we argue for? Reparations. The scripture says, thou shalt plant a vineyard and shalt not gather the grapes thereof. Showing you that what we did in slavery, we will never be repaid for it. No matter, we've had a black president for what, 8 years now. Has anybody received a check in the mail for reparations? That's with the black president. Alright? Go to the next slide. Deuteronomy 28:37. Read that.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 verse 37. And thou shalt become an astonishment, a proverb, and a byword among all nations, whither the Lord shall lead thee.
Alright, an astonishment. To be an astonishment is an amazement. Our people as a whole are looked down upon. They say our women don't know how to dress. We can't cover ourselves. Our men cannot pull up their pants. There's no other group of people on the face of the earth that have grown men, 40, 50, 60 years old, that do not understand how to pull up their own pants. And now it's gotten so bad that the parents today don't tell them to pull up the pants. All right? It says a proverb and a byword. A proverb. I'll give you an example. When a black man moves into a predominantly white neighborhood, a saying amongst that community is, there goes the neighborhood. Why? Because they say blacks do not take care of what they own. Therefore, the property value will decrease. All right? It says a byword. A byword is being called something other than what you truly are. The biggest byword. What's the one thing if a white man gets mad at you, what are you going to call him? A nigga. And I'm pretty sure everybody in this room can attest to that. But the thing is, who else can lay claim to that? Nobody else, no other group or nationality lays claim to these curses. Niggas, spits, savages, coons, porch monkeys. All right, for our Native Americans and Latinos, they're called what? Wetbacks. Because, like I told you, those are our brothers as well. Go to the next slide. All right, Deuteronomy 28:37. Remember, a byword is something other than what you truly are. For example, I can guarantee, I don't know anybody in this room, I guarantee we have a Jones, we have a Jenkins, we have a Thomas, we have a Jefferson, we have a Smith. Raise your hand if one of those last names, you have one of those last names. Right. And I can't think of some more popular ones, but I guarantee they ain't here. Those are bywords. How did you get those last names? Through slavery. The fact that you have a European last name shows that you attest to the curses that are written of in Deuteronomy 28:37. Show that.
James, your name is Toby. I want to hear you say it. Your name is Toby. You're going to learn to say your name. Let me hear you say it. What's your name?
Kunta Kinte.
When the master gives you something, you take it. He gave you a name. It's a nice name. It's Toby. And it's going to be yours till the day you die. Now, I know you understand me, and I want to hear it. Again! I want to hear you say your name. Your name is Toby. What's your name?
Kunta.
Lord God, help that boy. They're gonna whip him dead.
What's your name? Say it. Toby. Who are you? Say your name. What's your name?
Toby.
Hi. Say it again. Say it louder so they all can hear you. What's your name?
Toby. My name is Toby.
Hi. That's a good nigger.
So it shows the breaking process. All right, it shows the breaking process. Now we walk around with it proud. All right, what do we have? We have the Jenkins family unit. We have the Tompkins family unit. We have the Jones family unit. Now we take pride in these names that were once beaten and whipped into us. All right, next slide. All right, so with those names, with the change of names, what did that do? That disconnected us one from another. All right, read that. Jeremiah 17:4.
Jeremiah chapter 17 and verse 4. And thou, even thyself, shall discontinue.
Shall discontinue, meaning stop. You are going to stop identifying yourself as an Israelite, as a Jew. All right, read.
Shall discontinue from thine heritage that I gave thee, and I will cause thee to serve thine enemies.
We have served our enemies in America from 1619 up until today. Having a job is not freedom. If you don't go to work, guess what? You don't survive. That's not freedom. Read.
Thine enemies in the land which thou knowest not. For ye have kindled a fire in mine anger, which shall burn forever.
Now, we're going to go further later on. We're going to show you how we can flip the curses that were placed on us. All right, read. Next.
Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 41. Thou shalt beget sons and daughters.
So the Bible says, thou shalt beget sons and daughters. Meaning you will have sons and you will have daughters. Read.
But thou shalt not enjoy them.
But the Bible says you will not enjoy those children. Read.
For they shall go into captivity.
All right, what we see right here, all right, what we see is an image painted from a slave auction. All right. Now, when we were on the auction block, did we have choice if we wanted our son or daughter to go to the same plantation as us? No, you were not given a choice. Therefore, this scripture is showing you historical fact, matching up with the Bible. It says you will not enjoy them because they will go into captivity. Did that happen to us? Yes, that happened to us. What does that mean? That we are the true Jews of the Bible. Go to the next slide.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 43. The stranger that is within thee shall get up above thee very high, and thou shalt come down very low.
Now, out of all the other nations that are in America, you have the Chinese, you have the Japanese, you have the Korean, you have the Arab, you have the so-called white man. Who did I miss? The Africans. All right. The Jewish. Right. Out of all those nations that I just mentioned, which group was here first, besides the Native American? What group came over here next? The so-called blacks, right? You had the white man, then the so-called blacks came, right? All those other nations came after us. Now, pecking order of our economies, or our financial, social, economic status. Are we above the Chinese man? No. Are we above the Korean man? Are we above the Japanese man? Are we above the African? Because we are not African. We were taken from Africa. Alright? So, how can it be that we've been over here for over 400 years and we have not been able to amass the same wealth, the same communities and businesses as these other nations? Alright? Right here you see everybody has the Arab man. You get your t-shirts from. Your Chinese food. Alright? All these other businesses. Why is it that we aren't able to do that? But then when you look at our neighborhoods, what do you see? Trash. No business. Alright? Poverty. Next slide.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 44. He shall lend to thee, and thou shalt not lend to him.
Read.
He shall be the head, and thou shalt be the tail.
It says, he shall lend to thee. How many of you took out a loan to come to college? How many of y'all took out a loan? Raise your hand. Hey, everyone take out a loan. Okay. Now, how many of you went to your own people to get that loan? How many of you went to a black-owned bank, somewhere where your auntie or uncle owns the bank and you got the money? None of us, right? Because the curse says that he shall lend to thee and thou shalt not lend to him. Showing you that we are going to be in a lower position. We won't have the same economic and financial might to be able to loan amongst ourselves. For example, the major banks and check cashing stores, Bank of America, Chase, Citibank, Wells Fargo, all of those, you know where their foundation comes from? Where they got their riches at? During slavery, right? The first thing to be traded on Wall Street was slaves. It's us, all right? Also, interest rates. All right, I'm going to show you a clip right now showing you that. It says, he shall lend to thee, and thou shalt not lend to him. Minorities are charged higher interest rates, not because of your credit score, but because of your nationality. All right, and I'm going to show you that. Click out and go to it.
Yes.
And y'all will see that. Some of y'all might have experienced if you tried to buy a car, when you graduate, you try to get a house. You will see that your interest rate will be a lot higher than somebody else just because of the color of your skin. Not because you didn't pay your bills on time, not because you don't have a good job, not because you don't have the down payment. Simply because you check black and they check white.
Anthony Proctor says he was thrilled when he received a mortgage to buy a home. But when he moved in, he learned his bank had charged him an interest rate almost 3 times that of his neighbors. He says simply because he was African American.
Every time I talked to him on the telephone, they would ask for my nationality. If you qualify and you're African American, they gave you a higher rate.
It's a charge customers have been making for years against some of America's largest banks. On Thursday, the U.S. Justice Department announced it had reached a settlement with one of those lenders, Wells Fargo.
This is a case about real people, African American and Latino, who suffered real harm as a result of Wells Fargo's discriminatory lending practices.
The settlement is a result of a 3-year investigation that revealed between 2004 and 2009, some of Wells Fargo's mortgage brokers steered minority borrowers into more expensive loans. But the $175 million settlement is tiny in comparison to the $4.2 billion that Wells Fargo says it earned in net income in just the first quarter of this year.
It's not the first time the U.S. Justice Department has settled with one of America's big banks. Last December, a settlement was reached with Bank of America for more than $330 million, again, over allegations of discriminatory lending.
In both cases, though, as part of the settlement, the mortgage lenders have admitted to no wrongdoing, which upsets Anthony Proctor.
How can you get away with that? How can you sit back and admit no wrongdoing?
Still, as America's biggest lender, Wells Fargo will continue to manage more than a third of the country's mortgages. And despite this multi-million-dollar settlement, it's denied the discrimination claims. Kimberly Halkett, Al Jazeera, Washington.
Let me ask you this. Do you think you would have that same problem if you were banking with your own people? Would you have to worry about being treated unjustly, that your interest rate would be 3 times as high as the next man? You wouldn't have to worry about it. All right? Read that.
Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 45. Moreover, all these curses shall come upon thee, and shall pursue thee, and overtake thee, till thou be destroyed.
Until we be destroyed. Not physically, not that we aren't here, but we be destroyed as a people. That we no longer identify with each other. That guess what? When you see your brother poor, you say, and you see P. Diddy, you say, we made it. But that's not the fact. When one person makes it, the rest of the community is poor. We didn't make it. All right? We have been destroyed as a people. Read.
Because thou hearkenest not unto the voice of the Lord.
And this has happened for one reason. Because we did not keep the commandments of God. Read.
To keep his commandments and his statutes which he commanded thee.
These are some of the curses that have been placed on us. For a woman to wear her hair like that, she has to be mentally ill. All right? Homosexuality. All right? All right? That's something that's plaguing our community. All right? And guess what? Now it's accepted. A lot of you might think it's cool. But according to the Bible, that is a sin. All right? And for our people to be in that, we have brothers and sisters in our congregation that have come out of those things. All right? We understand that you've been taught that, but it's wrong. You have to be retaught. All right? Go to the next one.
Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 46. And they shall be upon thee for a sign.
So, this is the key part. I want to make sure y'all understand. It says that these curses, everything that we read, happened to us for a sign. Read.
And for a wonder. And upon thy seed forever.
So, God let these things happen to us. So, guess what? In 2016, we can look and we can examine our history and say, you know what? That's what God said these things would happen to the Israelites. These are the Israelites, right? You are the Israelites. All right, next slide.
Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 48. Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee.
Now, when it says serve thine enemies, all right, from 1492 to about 1865, we served without any type of payment, so to speak. All right. Now, we're still serving today under the pretext of a job. So it says you're going to serve thine enemies. Who do we predominantly work for?
CEO of a company.
Right, the CEO of a company. And who predominantly owns most companies? The so-called white man. Good. Now you're starting to get it. So what did God call those people that are running these companies that we work for? What did he call them? Our enemies. There we go. We're starting to understand. Because guess what? During the 1960s, and the 40s and the 50s, when the Black Panthers, when the Civil Rights Movement was going on, who did our people understand? Have you ever seen any Malcolm X? Or you ever heard of Nat Turner? Who did they call the devil? A lot of times. The so-called white man. And they was doing that without the Bible. We can go into the Bible and show you that, but it's showing you God says they are our enemies. So that's why when we say Black Lives Matter, but we holding hand with the so-called white man, what's the word I'm looking for? You're contradicting yourself. You are contradicting yourself when you say Black Lives Matter and then you join hands with the same man that just killed you. Alright, understand? Keep going. Against thee.
Against thee. In hunger.
In hunger. God says we're going to serve our enemies in hunger. If you want something to eat, you must go to your oppressor. We don't own McDonald's. We don't own KFC. We don't own Taco Bell. Read.
And in thirst.
In thirst. If you want running water, you must pay a water bill. If you want Gatorade, you got to go to the white man. You want Coke, Sprite, Pepsi, Aquafina, Zephyr Hills. You got to go to your oppressor. We don't have a Jenkins water supply. All right, read.
And in nakedness
Clothing. We must go to our oppressors in clothing. I know y'all in college. So guess what? What's the biggest thing y'all like? Gucci, Versace. We make songs about these European designers. Are those our people? Is that money going back into our community? No. That's how we're serving our oppressors. Read.
And in want of all things.
In all things. If you want a birth certificate, if you want a death certificate, if you want a marriage certificate, if you want a degree, if you want a dental license, doctor license, it must be approved by who? That Board of Education or by your local state, city government. And who's behind that? The so-called white man. Read.
And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he have destroyed
it. It says that he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he have destroyed it. Not physically, like I told you. They took the iron off our necks, right? How are we destroyed as a people now? Mentally. They took our brains from us. Alright, they took our brains from us. But that's an example of him physically having a chain of iron around his neck. Now I want you to read in that book right there. Alright, this book was written by an individual that actually is a part of FAM right now. Alright, because I know some of y'all don't believe about it. And that's fine. I'm going to show you, go to the next slide and show you what page. I'm going to show you in this book that you can get right here on campus. It shows you that we had chains around our necks. Alright, what time we got? 7:16. Okay, cool.
Yeah, I got you.
Right there.
All right, this is from Slavery in Florida, Territorial Days to Emancipation by Larry Eugene Rivers, page 142. For those owners who whipped, the punishment could be inflicted in a variety of ways.
So they would inflict us. If you try to run away, these are the things that will happen to you. Read.
Instruments used could range from switches to sticks to leather whips. Some owners also took advantage of chains.
Read.
Clogs, and other special devices to restrain bond servants. When Caddy was captured after she had run away with her children, owner Peter Williamson of Jackson County tied a chain around her neck.
He did what?
Tied a chain around her neck.
This is historical fact. This is what he don't deal with the Bible. But what did he do? What did he find out?
Tied a chain around her neck.
Read.
Secured her to the axle of a wagon. And whipped her as she was pulled through the streets of Pensacola.
Read.
An English visitor in the late 1830s that he witnessed in the streets of Tallahassee. 2 Negroes with heavy iron collars around their necks.
Read that again.
An English visitor to Middle Florida.
So an English visitor. He came from overseas. He's in America. Read.
Wrote in the late 1830s that he witnessed in the streets of Tallahassee.
In the streets of Tallahassee. Right here, these curses were in effect. And still out today. Read.
2 Negroes with heavy iron collars around their necks.
Stop there. Alright, next slide. Showing you, the Bible is supported with history. But guess what? What's another proverb? If you want to hide something from a black man, where do you put it?
Library.
Put it in a book or a library. Good. Read that.
Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 49. The Lord shall bring a nation against thee from far.
Now, it says, the Lord shall bring a nation against thee from far. How did we get to America? We were taken on slave ships, right? From the shores of Africa to America. Is that near or far? They came from far. Read.
From the end of the earth.
That's from one end of the earth unto the other. All right, what do they call it? The western and right. No. The turn. Yeah, there you go. All right, read.
From the end of the earth, as swift as the eagle flies.
Now, this is very important. It says, as swift as the eagle flies. What is the symbol of America? The bald eagle. The bald eagle. But not only did America have the bald eagle, France, Portugal, Spain, Great Britain, England, and America. One thing that all of those nations or countries have in common, what did they participate in? The transatlantic slave trade. Showing you the Bible is historical fact. Alright, read.
A nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand.
A nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand. When they came to the shores of Africa, did we understand what they were saying to us? No, we did not understand their language. Just with Kunta Kinte, he had to be told to change his name. All right, next slide.
Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 64. And the Lord shall scatter thee among all people, from the one end of the earth even unto the other. And there thou shalt serve other gods.
It says, there we will serve other gods. Read.
Which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone.
Now, first, let's go on to the transatlantic slave trade. It says he's going to scatter us from one end of the earth unto the other. Y'all said y'all heard of the transatlantic slave trade, right? We went to America. We went to Brazil. We went to Central America. We went to China. We went to Great Britain, England. We were scattered throughout the whole earth. Is that not true? Yes, no, maybe? Yes, that's true. That's historical fact. It says that when we got to these different places, we would serve gods which we didn't know, even wood and stone. The wood that we serve, all right, the wood that we serve, what do a lot of people put around their necks and they hold very near and dear to themselves? The wooden cross. Because before Christianity, we never wore crosses. You won't read about a cross in the Bible. You won't read about a commandment to put on a cross. So that cross is talking about Christianity. And the stone, does anybody know what this stone is talking about? This, there you go, you hit it on the head. The stone is talking about the Kaaba stone in Mecca. And our people that lay claim to Islam, Mecca was one of the largest slave ports known to date. Alright, so that's not our nationality, that's not our religion or culture either. Next slide. Now, alright, go to the next one. No, I want this, my bad, read that.
Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 65. And among these nations shalt thou find no ease, neither shall the sole of thy foot have rest, but the Lord shall give thee there a trembling heart, and failing of eyes, and sorrow of mind.
So, it says, once we got to these different places where we were transported, it says that we would not, we would have a trembling heart, failing of eyes, and sorrow of mind. Now, that trembling of heart, that goes into the fear of the black man and black woman in America. Alright, when you read and you see things like Trayvon Martin, how many of y'all ever been driving, coming home from a party, and you see lights behind you? How do you feel? Do you feel safe that, oh, the police is near? Or do you feel insecure, you worry, you trying to figure out what did I do? How do you feel when the police is driving behind you? You're scared, you're trying to figure out what you did. Am I going the speed limit? Do I have anything on me? Is my license suspended? Can I find, where's my registration? You worry. The other nations, they don't think like that. They are happy when they see the police. But the feeling that we have, we think that's normal. But that is a curse. That's a curse from God. It says failing of eyes and sorrow of mind. Why? Because we have been in an oppressed state for over 400 years. We're still marching. We're still trying to vote. Put politicians in. We're still waiting on Jesse Jackson. Maybe if we get this person in, something would change. Or I'll become president. No. That's not the solution. Next slide. Go to the next slide. Alright, this is the key one. Alright, we almost done. Are y'all ready to go? Alright, Deuteronomy 28:68. This is the key one. Keep in mind, these curses are identifying that the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans are the children of Israel. Alright, so I'm asking y'all again. Who are we trying to prove are the children of Israel? Who are not trying? Who are we proving are the children of Israel? Us. There you go. You hit it on the head. I want you to put yourself, these scriptures are talking about you. Alright, read that.
Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt.
Egypt means bondage. Egypt means bondage. The officer went over it earlier. When we were in Egypt, what position were we? Were we slaves or were we the kings? We were the slaves. So stop claiming that you're Egypt. I know y'all professors, they teach y'all that we're Egyptian. We're not Egyptian. And they cannot prove it. They can't prove it. That's why they just give you all this information, but they cannot give you any concrete information showing that you are Egyptian. But I'm showing you with historical and biblical fact that you are indeed the Israelites. Alright? Read it from the top.
And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again.
Now he said he's going to bring us back into bondage again. Read.
With ships.
With what?
With ships.
Now, we all college students. Everybody should know, how did we get to America? On slave ships, right? Cargo slave ships. Cargo slave ships. Read.
By the way whereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again.
Read.
And there ye shall be sold unto your enemies.
When we got off those slave ships, we were sold to our enemies. There go that word again, enemies. Who are we sold to? The so-called white man. What did God call them? Your enemies. Keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. Read.
For bondmen and bondwomen.
And so we'll be sold as slaves. That's what a lot of us got our names. Guess what? Master Jenkins has bought, what's your name, sister? Kenya what?
Clark.
Kenya Clark. There you go. She was sold to, guess what? The Clark plantation. That's her history. It's that simple. But what was she before that? All right, that's what you must ask yourself. It says, and no man shall buy you, meaning redeem you. That's what that word buy means. It means redeem, because we know we were bought. She has the receipt as her last name. The Clark plantation bought her great forefather. All right, no man shall buy you, meaning redeem you. Next slide. All right, so now what? Now that you know you're the Israelites, all right, we proved it to you with biblical and historical facts. What should we do now? All right, the first step is we must repent. We must repent and come back to our true nationality as the Israelites. We must learn what to do and what not to do to keep the commandments of God. Read Acts 3:19. What time is that? All right.
Acts chapter 3, verse 19. Repent ye therefore, and be converted, that your sins may be blotted out, when the times of refreshing shall come from the presence of the Lord.
So the Bible says that we must repent and be converted, meaning we must change our mindset. No longer should we have that me first mentality. We should understand that I want to go to college to make sure I can benefit my own people. All right? Read Zephaniah 2 and 1. The next thing we must do, after we repent, we realize who we are. We come back to God's law, statutes, and commandments. We must come together as a nation again. How many of y'all ever heard of Black Wall Street? All right, good. When you read about Black Wall Street, you see we had our own economy. Our whole neighborhood was self-sufficient. We had our own tires. We had our own airports. We had our own hospitals. We had our own businesses. We had our own stock market. The thing is, we have all those talents, if not more, in abundance today. But what do we lack? The mindset to come together. We're scared to come together. Because I'm looking in this room. This is what? How many classes? I know Dr. Guzman, who came from a different teacher. All of y'all from Guzman, right? That's only one professor on campus. So imagine you get the School of Business, you get the pharmacy, you get nursing, you get the teaching, and all of us come together on one mindset and on one accord. Black Wall Street is very easy to correct. Zephaniah 2:1.
Zephaniah chapter 2, verse 1. Gather yourselves together.
The Bible says that we must gather ourselves together. Read.
Together, yea, gather together, O nation not desired.
That's the key part. We are the nation that is not desired. We are the nation that, guess what? Before you go get a job, if you have natural hair, you make sure you straighten it out as best you can. All right, you try to blonde your hair to fit in. Brothers, I bet you don't walk into a job with your pants low. Nope, you make sure you pull them up. You shave your beard off so you can accommodate this society and this world. Because you are the nation that is not desired. All right? Next, we got to create our own businesses, schools, etc. But the biggest thing right here, we must rebuild the Israelite family in righteousness. Give me 1 Corinthians 11 and 3. So we understand the order of the household. When you go out, you get married. All right?
1 Corinthians chapter 11 and verse 3. But I would have you know that the head of every man is Christ.
The Bible says that the head of every man is Christ. Read.
And the head of the woman is the man.
The head of the woman is the man. That's not taught in the churches, in the school systems, or anywhere else except in the Bible. It says the head of the woman is the man. And guess what? That's a big pill to swallow for your woman. Because guess what you've been taught? That you're an independent woman, that you can do everything on your own. The Bible says that your head is your man. Is your man. And that's something that must be taught. Alright? Read.
And the head of Christ is God.
And the head of Christ is God. So that's the order. Alright? So, what time you got? 7:30. Alright. Any questions?
Shalom, Israel. I'm Elder Nathaniel, Israel United in Christ.
YouTube likes to shut our channels down, as some of you have noticed, ever so often. Subscribing to join IUIC will assure you will always stay connected to our YouTube accounts. We want to do our best to make sure this truth gets out. Please click and join our subscriber YouTube channel called Join IUIC to stay linked to all of our videos. So again, please make sure you subscribe to this Join IUIC channel to get your latest updates from all our YouTube channels. Shalom.